already going. Hey, it's Ricky Carmichael, and you're watching the Motoxpod show.
Hey, this is Paige Craig, and you're listening to the Motoxpod show.
Welcome to the Motoxpod show, starring Darkside, his co-host Scotty, sometimes TJ.
Hey everybody, we are back. I'm a little congested. Hopefully it doesn't sound too bad this week. We're here for episode 225. Before we get things rolling, let's thank all of our sponsors at Cherubies USA, which for decades has been the leader in motoplastic accessories. You guys know, with products that fit perfect, look great, and last, Cherubies has what you need. Whether it's full plastic kits, individual pieces, hand guards, chain guides, and sliders, or anything else they offer, visit CherubysUSA.com and support our title sponsor. Follow them on Instagram, and whenever you order, put in the notes, man, that you listen to the Moto X-Pod show. Also, Racetech. Racetech is the world's largest aftermarket suspension modification company. All Racetech products include award-winning gold valves, and settings are 100% guaranteed and made right here in the USA. Racetech also offers state-of-the-art precision engine services and parts to all engine builders. Visit racetech.com for more info and use promo code MOTOXPOD to save. Also, of course, our guys at Fly Racing. Fly Racing hooked us up this week. I'll tell you guys about that in a moment. X-Brand goggles, Works Connection, Torque One Racing, R Jerky, Berm Lords Graphics, and Jersey ID. I crashed at Shan's house Thursday night before going over for press day on Friday. Appreciate Shan as always. Also the owner of Shock Socks, Williams Moto Works, Extreme Colors Helmet Painting, Blood Lubricants, Power Band Racing if you guys are running that WP on the East Coast, and of course, True Fusion Sports, Derek Kelly's company. Tonight, Scotty's in the studio.
What's up?
What's up, man? Good time in Arlington this weekend?
Yeah, it was super bitter-ass cold, but
It's pretty cold.
it was
Nothing like
didn't stop
mini,
us.
but yeah.
Well, I wasn't,
Yeah.
but it didn't stop us. I definitely learned a lot more, learned from what I did the first time I went to Glendale, and I feel like we got more interviews. Unfortunately,
I lost a bunch.
lost years, but that, at least we
Another learning lesson.
yeah, there's always one of those. But
Seems like it.
but yeah, so this time I've kind of followed you a little more, and I think it got me into more opportunities by just because it's for those of y'all that obviously probably don't have this opportunity very often. It's kind of a different game once you just start, like once you just walk up underneath those tents. Like you're comfortable enough where you've done it so many times where you just kind of go in there, but it's a little bit unnerving because you're just all of a sudden you're like, whoa, like I'm in the middle of all of this.
Yeah,
And
especially if they don't recognize you.
yeah, exactly. And you kind of got a weird look on your face, kind of looking around, like, am I going to get in trouble for this? But
Yeah.
no, it was super cool. Got to eat lunch at the fly truck. Got some chicken parm. Took that back up to the
Got some pizza. Pizza from Sean Brennan.
Yeah.
Pizza. That was good.
Yeah. So all in all, awesome weekend. I think the racing you couldn't ask for any better racing than that. And it was cool. Everything I had a really, really good time.
Yeah, I was going to touch on something that you said, but I don't remember what it was already. But like I said, I'm a little congested, not feeling great, but lack of sleep. Before we get rolling, I want to thank our Patreon supporters. And once again, urge you guys, if you have a chance, go to patreon.com and sign up as a fan of the show. And you can contribute a little bit each month if you'd like to help us out. That's a big deal to us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you don't already, and you'll get to watch those videos that we try to post. Oh, I was going to touch on the videos. That's it. So, yeah, so Friday to Impress, there's a bug flying around here. See, I'm already distracted. up there by that light. Anyway,
I see it.
Friday during press, I was getting a bunch of interviews, and I was using that new setup I have with the double mics. And I got everything except for I interviewed Dino and Mookie, and I realized after Mookie that the input cable had come unplugged, so it lost all the sound.
Oh no!
So there was no sound for those. So yeah, that was awesome. And then Saturday I got a bunch of interviews, and just the way I transfer those from the GoPro up to the software we use for editing, I thought the files had transferred into that particular software because they were there,
right.
But it was actually pulling them off of the memory card that goes back in the GoPro, and I deleted it. I deleted everything to make more room for more, and yeah, that just when I went back to actually finish editing, the videos were gone. So dummy mistake. Well, I don't know what else to say.
Man.
It just is what it is. I lost a lot of good stuff, but yeah, can't do anything about that. So anyway,
you live and you learn.
I want to tell you guys again, if you're in Texas area and or anywhere in the general area of, I guess, where we are, East Texas, looking to buy a house, my son Gunner, his Instagram, just check out Gunner Guida, Gunner Guida. Maybe he can help you out if you guys are looking. He's trying to get his foot in the door with some real estate stuff. So yeah. And I want to shout out to All American Chevy of Killeen. If you guys listen to Kiefer Inc. testing, or if you listen to Main Event Moto, you've heard Austin, the guy that runs, the general manager that runs All American Chevy, promote his business on both of their shows. He's had to pull back due to things that go on with COVID, lack of inventory, lack of advertising dollars this year. But he's a moto guy. He's into the moto scene. He helped DB and Kiefer out with their vans, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And as most of you guys know, I totaled my truck on the way to Glendale, got my insurance check, needed a vehicle, hit up Austin when I was on my way to Minneapolis, and he was headed out of town, so he got me with one of his salesmen, Kevin Murray. Just want to give him a shout out. Texting with Kevin throughout the weekend at Minneapolis, got back. He got me something that he got me I got a 2018 Tundra, Scotty.
It's a sharp looking truck.
It's a good looking truck, man. Right, like I didn't think I'd even be able to afford a Tundra. Like I just didn't think I'd have that opportunity, but they took care of me as Moto family. So if you guys are in the market for a vehicle, even if you're not in the United States, man, or not in Texas, they're pretty good. They'll get you hooked up. They'll deliver it for the most part. I don't know what the mileage is where they'll actually deliver it, but I mean, Daniel is flying back out to buy a new vehicle soon from California. That's how good of a deal these guys are giving us. So if you're in the market for a vehicle, All American Chevy of Killeen, Texas, Austin and Kevin absolutely killed it. So I want to thank those guys tremendously. Means a lot. This week, 225, Cameron McAdoo is going to come on. He obviously coming off the win at Arlington. Broc Tickle's testing for Kawasaki. He's going to come on, kind of talk about what he's been doing and all the different things going on. So not a huge show this week, Scotty. We had some other guests that I had scheduled that kind of fell through last minute. A couple guys that I was trying to get on had team meetings tonight. So just I didn't get everybody I wanted or originally scheduled, but I think we're going to be fine with just a couple guests because actually I need some sleep.
Yeah, man, those weekends, those days are so long. Like I don't know what it is, but the last 2 days, all I've wanted to do is just sleep.
Oh
man.
yeah, well, me too. But my how my Mondays are, and I literally got up yesterday morning to go get this truck. I got up at 4:00 in the morning to drive to Killeen, and then I got back and I only had an hour and a half until pulp started. So I was up from 4 a.m. to midnight, and then I got up at 5 this morning.
Oh.
I feel like I'm dying right now. I am so tired. I feel sick. So anyway, enough complaints. A couple things I want to touch on. We're going to touch on Arlington. I'm looking at the time. We got quite a bit of time. Did you see the announcement for the FIM Supercross World Championship that they put out?
I did not.
So they put out what's the word I'm looking for? When they drop something,
Press release.
press release. Perfect, Scotty. That's why I have you here.
So that's one. Just one.
That's the reason.
That's the reason.
Yeah, they come up with the words that I get brain farted on. So they put out a press release. A lot of stuff. Racer X put it up. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Supercross Global is going to be the ones promoting it. It's going to be 5 races, 5 events this year from September to November. And next year, though, they're planning on expanding it. And it's going to probably overlap with Nationals and GPs. but they're putting a lot of money up.
So does this mean that we're going to go ahead and just bury the Monster Energy Cup? It's done?
I know. They said last night on Pulp, Bowie said, stay tuned. Because Steve asked if we're going to have it back next year, and he said, stay tuned, like as if it might be this year. It's coming back.
And then probably the straight rhythm probably doesn't come back.
I don't know. I think it will.
Maybe not at the same time. That's too much to put in at the end of the year. It's not even an off season at that point.
The World Championship thing's not going to be like our main guys. I don't think it's going to be guys that choose to do that instead of nationals. Like Chiz, kind of mentioned today that he might do it instead of.
Let's see who are the Supercross only guys? Brayton, Chiz, Moose
Marvin right now, but I don't know if Marvin would go with it. Maybe he would. But
do you see your guys like we have on tonight, Tickle, and maybe like wouldn't say Kennard, but other guys like that might do something like that.
But ask Tickle about it. I think it's still going to be guys racing, but guys that aren't racing. Like,
I mean, why not?
I don't. It's not going to be like your factory guys. I don't think we're not going to see those guys out there. But anybody else that I don't totally understand all the structure. Like it says, only 10 team licenses available to independent owners.
I don't really know what that
seed
means.
funding is going to be available for every team. Appearance fees at each event, logistics and freight taken care of. There's something like $50 million available over 5 years or 10 years or something. Hang on, where is it? My notes here. $50 million designated for teams and rider support over 5 years. Richest prize purses, $250,000 per event.
Wow.
So
what's the title sponsor?
I don't know that there is one.
Yet?
Yeah, that I've seen. Nothing I've seen. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, I kind of thought when they first started talking about this, like it just wouldn't even happen. And now it's happening. And
I think it's interesting that it's going to, like how are you going to call it a world championship if, like, the best guys in the world aren't really in it?
That's their choice not to go. But if they race in multiple countries, and multiple countries are available to, like, they can come, then.
Because, like that Australian one that Brayton used to do, it was Australian, obviously. But and then
that's going to be part of this.
It's going to be, they're adding that into
the
this.
OzX Open will be part of this.
So the Bercy.
They didn't say anything about Bercy that I saw. Just they mentioned, because the people that are going to promote this are the company that promotes the Australian series.
Gotcha.
So they're going to add this in. So a lot of those money races, I mean, the GPs are a world championship. They raced all over the world. Just because our guys don't go doesn't mean it's not a world championship.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, it's still the world championship. So, I mean, whatever. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting. It's just another race. More guys. We talk about like all these 250 guys that are going to be moving up next year, and there's not enough rides for guys. This is another series, at least, that opens up the door for maybe some guys that can't really aren't making enough money over here or lose rides. Maybe there'll be a chance.
It'll be good to have.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah, it'd be good to have something else on TV. I tried to watch the Hoosier Arena Cross today. I know that we're friends with that on the show, but it's a little hard to watch.
Really?
Yeah, I may have just been.
Like Emig and Ralph Shaheen announced. And
well, no, they were okay. They were about what I expected. They definitely don't have the same energy that they did on the Supercross.
Well,
I mean,
obviously,
of course not. But it was just optically the track just didn't. It may have just been that one track. It was maybe it was a smaller venue. The finish line jump looked like a 3-foot double. Like optically, it just wasn't a lot. It wasn't enough to like grab my attention and make me want to keep watching. It was just
that's a bummer.
It was real. Yeah, it was just real kind of plain Jane. Like I was like, all it really made me do was want to go ride that track because like I was like I'd rather just be there. Yeah, because like I can hit that double.
Right.
Hopefully it's not a lot bigger in person, but
I want to apologize again for my congestion and I'm sniffling over here. I hope it's not like audibly being picked up as much.
It doesn't sound too bad right now. I was just listening to your part on Pulp, and you sounded a little congested there.
I'm just I keep sniffling right now.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I hope it doesn't pick up because like once we're done, I got to boost this like 5 dB, and it makes everything louder. So
picks up everything.
I hope everybody can get through the show because I know I sound like crap, but I can't do anything about it. It's either that or not do a show. So so that's pretty interesting. The FIM Supercross World Championship. Really, if you guys want more details, you can go to racerx.com. Hey, I'm part of racerx.com officially. Officially.
Weed was even talking about it at the press box.
Yeah, my first article, as I mentioned, comes out in May. So the May issue, which would be, I think those things come out like a month or two early. The way they're.
I don't. Yeah, I can't. That
I can
stuff's
never
weird.
figure out, like the May issue will come out in like March.
I know. I remember
or
like it'd be
whatever.
like September, and I'd be like, "All right, I got the June Racer X."
Yeah. So I got to get on that because I need to renew my subscription so I can see my articles.
I remember in like high school, on days that we would have like that I knew I was gonna have like a study hall, or like sometimes you had to do like the testing or whatever, where like your tax test or whatever, and then once you're done, you have to kill your free time. So
Right.
I remember on those days I'd always throw in like a couple of Racer or a couple. Oh, I had Trans Worlds, couple of Trans Worlds. Yeah, with some of the centerfolds, and then I'd always have that giant Motosport catalog.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like, they don't even do those anymore, I don't
No.
think. But yeah, it was just flip through just pages of. Oh, they had everything in there, man. I
just
miss the
realized
old
something.
school day.
Totally interrupted, but I just realized something. Like, this is the first show since my hair's been cut that we've been on video.
Yeah, there's been some comments.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there has been some comments.
I got a bunch of comments at the race, Saturday.
Someone, let's look here. Someone
Half
said,
out of it too, so sorry.
F Sticks Racing said, just tuned in to see the haircut. I said, it's glorious. And then
So what, he
Michael,
bailed after that?
I don't know.
Lame.
Michael Tree said he needs the pony back. I said it's at Kiefer's, or a clip on. He said a clip-on pony. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. So
Apparently, Jake at State Farm was on hold for 4 hours and 11 minutes on
Jake
Pulp
Curry.
last night.
We got to meet him this weekend.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Him and his
Jake-
chick, and then there's some of their
Him and
friends.
his chick. Jordan.
Yeah, I don't know her name. When I do now, I guess
Yeah,
Jordan.
She's gonna be like, wow, what am I? Yeah.
I don't think I ever actually. I don't think it was like, "Hi, I'm Jordan." I think it was just like, "Oh."
Oh. Yeah, she used to get on. I think she used to get on the YouTube chat stuff and every little
She
bit.
does. She did say something sometime.
Yeah. So that was cool finally get to meet those
Yeah,
guys.
name face to the name.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was cool.
So what was the highlight for you, like pit wise, media wise, not the race, just hanging? Was there anything that stood out? Because like to me, it was cool seeing you get to interview Mitch Payton.
Yeah, Mitch Payton was cool. I did post that picture on my Instagram.
Yeah.
But Mitch is Mitch.
He didn't give you a lot.
He's just
He
a
doesn't really know you. Yeah.
robot face.
Unless you really know him, yeah.
And I was really nervous talking to him, so my questions weren't that great. I was a little like I didn't really know what to ask him. Like honestly,
Yeah.
like what do you?
I
ask
kind of
him?
pressured you into talking to him, but I was like, dude.
Yeah, it's now or never. I was like,
Yeah,
should have
there's a
get off
chance
the
to do
pot.
it. Get in
Yeah.
there.
So, but I would say we sat there
Free
and
food.
talked to the food was top 3. That chicken parm hit
Dude,
hit hard.
I love to eat.
It was you ate like 5 times that day, but the chicken parm from Buca's or whatever it was good.
Yeah.
Getting to we got to go up into like the little riders area of the SKDA truck with
SUV?
did I say that wrong?
Yeah, I don't know. SKD. I think it's
I don't know. I just see a bunch of
Kawasaki, or Honda.
yes, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm
with
sorry.
K and A,
I'm
right.
thinking of the skivvies thing.
Yeah. SGB.
SGB. Okay, erase that. The SGB truck. We were up in the riders area of that with A-Ray's new chick, and Clade.
Clay?
Cade.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a bad
What's
one.
up, Clade?
Clade.
Clay
Clade. Yeah. Cade Clayson. There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
We were up there with them.
That was your first. That was your
Yeah, I
first
never.
Riders
Well, it was
Lounge.
funny because so we're under the tent, and
Oh,
they
you
were
got
like,
left.
they were like, Darkside, come up here. And so you went in there, and then Cade closed the door, and then you were like, oh my god, my media guy is out.
Yeah, so go get my buddy.
Go get my buddy, and then so Cade comes out, and he's not looking my way. He's looking straight. And there's another guy that was setting up to do some kind of interview or something.
Yeah, and he
And,
thought,
he thought it was him, and he was like, and the guy was like, "What?" And they
Yeah,
didn't know what
'cause-
was going on. And then Kay's like, I just heard him say Scotty, and I'm like, "Oh, that's me."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, come on, man."
I told Kate, I said, he's like, yeah, he's right here. He's got the big camera. I was like, no, he doesn't.
No, that's
He has
not
his phone.
wrong
Yes.
guy.
He's like, he's right there. He has a big camera. I was like, that's not my guy. That's somebody else. No, he's right there. It was like 4 times I said, Cade, that is not my guy. Scotty, he's like in a blue or green jacket. And then that was
I was like,
fun.
"Oh yeah, that's me." So yeah, we came up there. I was sitting next to Cade. It smelled like his feet. He definitely just
You
got
said
done with
that.
that.
I didn't
That's
even
cute.
notice.
But though that
How
was
do you know
cool.
it's his feet. Maybe it was all the riders.
It might
feet.
have just been that area.
I mean, that's where the riders hang out. Yeah,
It was-
that was somebody else's
it's-
truck before it was theirs.
It was a little musty, but
Yeah,
it was cool.
I didn't even notice.
It was cool. It definitely
I
was
was
like cool.
congested.
Definitely cool vibes.
See, and you missed out because you went to hang out with your buddies before the night show. You took off before I did.
Yeah, because you were up there at the Club MX tent.
Yeah, and you missed it when Weeds and Steve came. We all went in the truck, and the whole team was inside the truck, off the record stories.
Yeah,
you missed out. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, that sucks.
Them busting on
I'm gonna,
for all his crashes and just so
one cool
much.
thing I saw. There's a video of it, a little clip of it in my video that I posted today of my recap from the weekend. But did you see Amart's pegs?
Yes.
J-Mart was calling them bear traps.
Yes.
Dude, those things were intense. They looked like the.
Yeah, Steve took a picture of it, and then we were making fun of him. Yeah.
Yeah, those things were ginormous. But yeah, I sat there and talked to Mike. I think that's his name. After Club MX, older guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I sat there and talked to him. Well, yeah, I talked to him. That was cool. And then I saw y'all come up. And what sucks is when I went and met up with my friends, they weren't even there yet.
Oh, right.
And I was like, God damn
Yeah,
it.
you missed out on some good.
I did get to see the opening ceremonies, which I know y'all have seen them 1,000 times. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, we made it back for that, but that was good. Okay, a couple of things. So did you see? You don't have Twitter. Friday, walking out of the pits, or Friday, I had my Carhartt overalls on because I had just left work and I knew it was gonna be cold, so I wore those on Friday. And I see Lucas Myrtle, and he starts making fun of me. And I don't know if anybody saw this on Twitter. He took a picture of me. He's like, I don't know if Darkside is like here to talk to me or give me a quote on my bathroom remodel or something like that.
Oh shit!
So that was kind of funny because he got a lot of responses on his Twitter. Mertz is a good dude, man. He really takes care of me and helps me out. Like,
yeah, he seemed pretty cool. I got an interview with him.
He seems like he really likes me for some reason. So a shout out to Lucas Myrtle. All right, couple top topics about Arlington. What do you want to talk about? Jason Anderson and Mookie, Jet and Austin, RJ and Phil.
I finally saw RJ hitting Phil.
Yeah, I actually was watching that live.
I just saw him rigor mortis on the ground.
Yeah, I was actually happened to be watching them as that happened. So scary. RJ's ready to race this weekend. He says.
So okay, a lot of people were over. They were. I heard listened to a couple of the race recaps. I listened to a couple different ones, and they were talking about the Anderson Mookie thing. And the one thing that everybody kept failing to mention is that when we were listening to the press conference after the race on Saturday, Anderson said that when he landed, he overjumped it, he was on the gas, and he was really just trying to stop more than anything, and Mookie kind of cut down a little bit. So everybody kept overlooking the fact that it really wasn't a race move. He was just trying not to wreck sooner, really. And so I don't know. I feel like that point that he made was kind of going overlooked.
Well, I think it was still a bad choice. I mean, he didn't have to get on the gas that hard.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He thought he was going to be able to get there, and then he realized he was going too fast. It was a mistake.
Yeah, I guess
he could have waited. He was faster, and he could have waited.
But this happened. I feel like I don't know where I guess, I mean, they're brothers, so they're kind of similar, but it seemed like that's what Stu did a lot, too, is he would cut down and a rider wouldn't be expecting him to cut down a lot.
Well, I mean, Jason really never even turned until the very last second. So
yeah.
It was a mistake on Jason's part, and he owned it, and I saw some people say, like, they're just, like, the same thing with Jet. Like, it's just doing that to look good on the press conference. Jason, I mean, I talked to Jason afterwards, off the record, and we were just BSing. I didn't record it. And
yeah.
He felt bad. It was an accident, man. I mean, and Jet legitimately feels terrible.
Yeah, I saw that happen.
Yeah.
Oh, that was bad.
So, I mean, I think Jason, there's some things. Yeah, all these guys have their little issues, and Jason's made a few mistakes, a few bad decisions.
It's crazy how, like, colliding in the air doesn't really happen that often, and we had it. It was like there was like 3 or 4 times.
There's a couple guys that could have died this weekend.
Yeah, like it got pretty sketchy, dude.
Most of those guys, like Jet, Austin, and RJ, just fell from like 15 feet. It felt like to the flat ground. I haven't rewatched the race, but this is how I remember it in my head happening. And then 7 Deuce Deuce got hurt pretty bad. He went on the concrete floor.
Where did I?
It's on his Instagram.
Someone else showed it to me on Saturday. I can't remember.
I was sitting next to you, and it came up on his Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, and he's got some, I think, some vertebrae that were fractured or something.
A-Ray
so.
got his appendix removed.
Yeah.
This is gnarly
Crazy
weekend, man.
Yeah, very crazy weekend. But listen, we got a couple minutes till Cameron McAdoo. We'll take a commercial break, and we'll wrap at the end of the show. We'll talk about the race.
Oh no! I just remembered. I have a hot take. I learned something from a deep source that is kind of an interesting piece of information.
All right, we'll save that for the end of the show.
Perfect.
Don't let me forget to talk about fly racing and how they helped out TJ and Doc this weekend. Because of me, I saved TJ and Doc as usual. I always save the day. I starting to sound like Steve.
Yeah.
You owe me. Anyway, commercial break. We'll be right back. All right. Oh, man. Hey, YouTube, can you hear me going, when I'm not really, just a normal, like that? Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Is it picking up? Does it sound like shit?
Bro, I've had congestion and crap for almost 2 weeks now. I have not been myself for 2 weeks. It's driving me nuts. So Jake said RJ didn't even hit any downside straight, chili wrapped flat to the ground. I don't know what a chili wrap is, but it sounds funny. I'm trying to think of. I just still don't understand why that one net was there around that corner. That was the worst placed net of the entire season.
I guess they expected it to work different than it did.
I mean, and nobody touched that giant berm that they built on the first little come in thing. I don't know. That track had
Scotty, why don't you go build the track this week at Dayton? Well, it won't be.
Dude, don't threaten me with a good time. I'll get on that skid steer and have a blast, bro.
Yeah, but it'll probably be a shitty track.
Actually, I have a buddy that does dirt working for a living, and so you let me. You didn't let me finish.
Yeah,
one of our goals is, I was like, dude, if I could ever get you in the, you're in the seat, and I'm kind of hanging onto the side, and we're both I'm just like, I want this here, I want this here. Let you do the building, and I'll be like, that looks good, that looks good. Because if you're POV from the thing, I know what it needs to look like, is from a racer's perspective.
Yeah.
So me and him working together, I don't know about, obviously, building one of those tracks is crazy, but it would be fun. I did notice it was interesting. We stayed up in the press box to do the post race conference, and by the time we were done with that thing, that track was pretty much done. It was pretty much already in piles.
Yeah, they tear it down fast.
It blows my mind how fast they do that.
All right, let's get.
Yep.
All right, I've been introducing you. We'll knock it out.
Cool.
All right. Our first guest of the night is brought to you by Cherubies USA, our title sponsor. Whether it's full plastic kits, individual pieces, hand guards, chain guides and sliders, or anything else they offer, visit CherubiesUSA.com and let them know the Moto X Pod show sent you. Tonight, at Cherubies USA brings us from Pro Circuit Kawasaki, winner of Arlington Triple Crown, Cameron McAdoo. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? How are you?
Doing good, man. Good to talk to you. I know we talked at the end of the night Saturday, and I actually never even posted that video because every other video I recorded that day I lost. So I just figured I'd save it, and then we got you on the show, and we can revisit all that stuff, man. But
yeah,
how you feeling, man? A good night, 2-3-1 overall. First win of the season, round 2. You're right where you need to be.
Yeah, feeling like a winner. It feels good. Obviously, the Triple Crowns are stressful. I mean, even going into it, you're just kind of you just really want the night to go your way, obviously. Sure. And I think you kind of gotta make your own luck for sure. And I mean, it sounds like we're beating a dead horse, but we all talk about how important starts are. And, I got 3 pretty good starts and put myself in the top 5 each time in the start, which was beneficial. And then, going 3-2-1 or 2-3-1 was pretty good for me. I think that it was, I want to say 8 points above whoever got second, or above J Martin who got second. So I felt like I was really consistent, which was nice. And it was just a good overall night for me. I felt like a lot more comfortable. Honestly, from press day, I was feeling pretty good with the track. I liked it. And I just felt comfortable throughout the day. Even in practice compared to Minneapolis, I struggled pretty bad, but yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic night, and we're stoked to be, tied for the red plate going into Daytona, where we had some good success last year as well.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I like to hear it.
The only I was a little bummed to see and when you looked at the overall results at the end of the three mains, your gap was like 11 or 12 points different than you had like 6. And I think second was like 15. I feel like that, and at the end of the day, you really only gained actual 3 championship points. I feel like they should, like, if you have a gap like that you should there should be a bonus point in there.
Well, I have in my notes.
Go
ahead, Cam. Go ahead.
I've thought that kind of always. I haven't raced very many Triple Crowns, but I've always kind of, like, I'm a fan of the sport. You know what I mean? When the West Coast is going on, I'm locked in watching timing and watching segment times and seeing what people are doing, so on and so forth. But the last time I raced a Triple Crown, I raced one in 2019, and that's really all I've done. So I don't have much experience with them. But I've always said, like, that I feel like there should be some sort of I feel like they should be able to be more of a deciding factor for the championship because of like, I was talking to the Kawasaki guys today, and the 450 guys, they did 3 17-lap main events. Like, so like you said, like, for the situation for mine or whatever, a guy could go 1-1-1, and then a guy that gets second could go like 3-5-9, and you only score 3 more points than that guy. Like, I feel like there should be like some sort of an advantage, but then you got to ask yourself this, like, okay, say they give 3 points to each main event winner. Okay, well then Triple Crown already has carnage, and it's already pretty crazy. Everyone, you know what I mean? You're lining the best dudes up 3 times in one night for a shorter amount of time, and then give them a 3-point boost for that. Maybe they send it even harder. We all do, because we want those 3 points. So, like, there's, I feel like we all have the answers to it until we don't.
Right,
so I don't really know, but I do feel like, there should be some sort of a benefit to have, like, being really good and really having a lot of consistency on those nights. But
yeah, I had that in my notes.
I'm just stoked to.
Oh, yeah, I had that in my notes, like maybe a revamp. And actually, Mathis was talking about it last night, and I think Mooey was on, and he was talking about, maybe obviously full points for each one of the Triple Crown races doesn't make that because one guy you have a DNF, and you lose a lot of points, right? So, but totally. Like if they did say third points, if that makes sense. So instead of 26 for a win, whatever a third of 26 is, so it'd be like 9 or whatever. Like, maybe you get 9 points, or they break it where each main event does pay something.
Yeah,
they can figure that out. It's and I was going to ask you about that, and then also, like, what do you think about like the bonus point for a hole shot or a bonus point for a heat race or anything like that? Have you any consideration to any of that kind of stuff?
I don't know. I don't know about a hole shot.
Yeah.
Because then I feel like that, like I said before, like it starts incorporating, like, like do we need guys to really, like, I mean, we're already trying so hard to get hole shots. So
sure.
Then it might even be, I don't know. It's hard saying. And like the heat races, I could see where that would give, a bonus point for a heat win or, but then it's like, what do you do for second and third? Like,
right.
Or is it just a heat win? Like, it's really hard to say. And I think at the end of the day, like, whoever becomes champion, they earned it, whether there's bonus points or not in Triple Crowns, whatever. Like, I don't really be able to see looking back in history and being like, yeah, that guy shouldn't have won that championship. Like, it's rare.
Yeah, everybody's racing. Yeah, everybody has the same
you
rules.
earn your keeps, whether the dude that was by far the fastest, hands down, all year, crashing out or whatever it is, and you gotta be a champion to be a champion. So
absolutely,
that's kind of my outlook.
I want to ask you the difference between the first race and the second. I think they're calling them races, not mains. Race 1 and race 2 of the Triple Crown. Austin got you, and and led, and then in the second one, you seemed faster than Austin in the second one, I believe. Because he was behind you. I'm trying to remember the results now, but it seemed like you got better from 1 to 2. Was there any changes made, or how did that work out for you?
No changes.
Okay.
We knew that would probably be the case. I felt like my second and third were going to be my best mains, just because I feel like I'm pretty fit, and I feel like the almost the downfall of having a pretty high fitness level is potentially sometimes you take a little bit longer to get going. So I focused on a really heavy warm up, but still, I don't even think just that. I think that I got a little carried away trying to make a pass on Styles too many times instead of just picking a spot and doing it. And it kind of got me because Austin got a 2-for-1 there. And then, I think that, second main, I had a little more momentum. I was pretty good in the whoops when they got a little bit beat up. The first main, the whoops were so perfect that, pretty much everyone was really fast through them. And I think it was to my benefit when they started getting chewed out and beat up. So that I felt like that was a strong suit of mine. And then, I felt like I just kept the momentum rolling in my direction throughout the night. And I felt like it paid off.
Yeah, well, obviously it did.
Yeah.
You mentioned whoops. So I got a question that I've wondered and I've never really asked. You guys always seem to tend to hit the whoops right up against the tough blocks on one side or the other. Why is that? Because I feel like, as somebody that doesn't do this, obviously, the slightest little mistake, you clip a tough block and you're done. Why not just right down the middle?
Smooth ground.
But why is it smoother?
Because nobody touched it.
It's because you got to think about it in so there's probably there's more guys in the 450 class obviously, but say there's 70 guys on the track in the 250 class all day, and there's probably realistically there's 12 to 14 of us that are going to skim the whoops all day.
Yeah.
And the rest are going to, skim them, and then they get a little bit beat up and they're going to jump them. But those guys shoot right down the middle. They shoot for the middle of the track the whole day. There's the large percentage of the riders throughout the day and even the night show, they're trying to go down the middle of it. And then the middle gets almost like a V down it, and it gets this rut. And then as soon as the rut starts coming in, all the guys who feel more comfortable jumping them when they're chewed up, they're going to go for that spot. So then there's this rut, and it's really hard to skim whoops through a rut. So you're better off to just take the high road and it's edgy and it's risky because the chance of cliffing a tough block are there. But yeah, I think you'll always see that. And it's just searching. We're searching all night for the best line in the whoops, and that's
all right. Hey,
that's kind of yeah.
That answers it for me. Every time I see it, I'm like, God, man, when you see a bike step out just a little bit, well, dang, get in the middle of the track. You have the whole you have runoff either way, but that makes sense. All right, thanks, man.
Yeah.
My question was also a question about the whoops as well. It seemed like half that track was whoops, so it seemed like at the end of the day when the track deteriorated, there was guys that were especially I noticed it with Tomac and Anderson the most. Tomac was good on this set, and then Anderson was good on this set. And I just kind of wanted to know which one you felt was more difficult, and which one did you I guess seemed like you were doing better in.
Yeah, I think that the whoops on the end of the stadium they were so short that I think that a lot of it came from the corner. The corner was really slick, so kind of how you executed that was probably the biggest deciding factor of how well you were going to go through them. Because especially for the main events, they got beat down to where they were pretty flat. It was almost like most of the guys were just going roll 3-3 and then kind of jump out, whatever. And it wasn't much faster to skim them. Second main, when I was behind Jeremy, he was doing that jump line, and I was skimming them what I felt like was probably as best as you could, and I wasn't gaining any time. So I don't think there was a ton of time to be made or lost there. But with that being said, there was passes done in both of those corners. So that's hard to validate that. But I think the long set were for sure the more technical. And, when you have twice as many whoops, it's going to – the short set, I guess, when you only have 7 or 8 whoops, by the time you kind of get in trouble in them, you're already out of them.
Yeah.
So it's not very – there's not a big deal there. But the long set, you gotta really be engaged, and with a double into them, it's basically up to you for how fast you want to hit them. You know,
you guys were hitting those things at Mach 3. You and Jet especially were like, oh my God, it was like there was no whoops there at all. It was unreal.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, it's just, I think it kind of all boils down to like confidence, especially on a 250, because on a 250, if you got a whoops right out of a 180 or right out of a turn, like you only can hit them as fast as you can come out of the turn. So you got to like basically figure that out. But if you got a turn with a double and then like a dozer with runway before the whoops, it's like, you know, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
Because you can hit them as fast as you possibly want. Like you can get your bike going as fast as you want through those things.
Yeah. Well, that kind of, you saying that, how bad do you want it? That kind of leads me into this. And I asked you this Saturday night post race. Like I said, I never posted it, so let's go to it again. I kind of got the feeling you were wanting to get away from the nickname, the whackers, the stuff that Steve kind of joked about, you being a little unpredictable. And they asked you when you were on there a couple of weeks ago, I think Galdi asked you about, this year, are you going to be let's just get through it kind of guy to start with? And you said that's not me. I'm not that kind of guy. So where do you find that line of, all right, I don't want to be known as whackers, out of control, and but I want to go as fast as possible. I got to find that fine line, that razor's edge, mentally and physically.
It's not, I guess I don't really think of it as like what I want to be thought of. And like, I could care less if everyone thought I didn't try hard or if everyone thought I was crazy, sent it, sketchy, you name it. But I'm trying to figure out what's the best thing to equate to the most success for myself as a racer. Like that's all I'm doing. So whether it's try harder, try less hard, be smoother, I'm doing my best to figure it out. Cause at the end of the day, like that's the reason I'm doing it. I'm doing it for myself and to have the most success that I possibly can. So, I mean, I don't really, the nicknames and stuff, like I like the banter. It's funny. It's fun to joke about it, and I mean, it's not fun for that stuff to happen.
Right.
And obviously, like some of the stuff that happened to me last year in Atlanta and whatnot, like, yeah, trust me, guys, like I certainly didn't want to be on the ground and have those situations just as bad as anyone else would ever.
Yeah.
Because I was the one living through it. So,
yeah,
but I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like I'm not trying to avoid crashing because I'm worried about what someone's going to nickname me. I don't want to crash because I want to win races and I want to be my best version of myself. So like that's where it comes down to. And I think it all has to do with, focusing on what we've worked on. And, I think it's coming around and it's coming together well. I think in the past with a little bit less guidance, all I kind of knew was just send it and go as hard as I can and work as hard as I can. And like, cause if you don't have guidance, you don't know what needs to be fixed. And
sure. Yeah.
And so I guess as a hammerhead, what people call me, like, go on the longest bike rides, go as hard as you possibly can, do as many laps as you can during the day. Like, so yeah, I felt like, with Nick's guidance and with the guidance of the team and just, my whole crew right now, my whole group of people is, I think I'm in a good spot, to continue growing and continue bettering myself.
Yeah, I think so too.
We have some listeners that had some. You're talking about nicknames. They have some suggestions. We have a McApple, a Apple Max. I guess they're going off the fact that you eat the whole apple when you eat an apple core and everything.
Oh my goodness!
So they want to call you
Cameron. I was like, where is this coming from?
Cameron. Yeah, I had to ask too, and they said that there's a vlog where where you eat a whole apple. So McApple is your name now.
That's terrible. I was having an apple in between sessions or something, and Maddie had the camera out filming, and like I guess I was zoned out sitting in the chair, and I just kept kind of like chewing at it, and the core was really small, like I had eaten it down to like almost the core, and she like gave me crap, and she was like, "Geez, like, got anything left of that apple?" And I acted super serious, and I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, the rest is left, and I just ate the core, and I actually ate it, and she was just like, "What are you doing?"
That's hardcore.
And I gritted my teeth, the seed up, and whatever, and then she must have put it in the vlog, I assume.
Yeah, I guess I haven't seen that one yet, but
I didn't know what they were talking about, and they said it was from your vlog. He ate the whole apple.
That's for sure what that's from. I ate the whole apple.
That's awesome. Yeah, another one.
Yes. So so now that we're going into Daytona, Daytona is obviously a race like no other race in the Supercross season. You know, the track's different, the layout's different, it's outside. You know, all of those variables change. I just kind of wanted to know what you do to prepare maybe your bike for a weekend like this. Like, how much does the bike change, and then also what do you do conditioning since it's a kind of a different, longer race, and also kind of throw in with one of our fans wanted to ask was, what does Nick Way been working? What has Nick Way been working with you on?
For the Daytona thing, the prep. Honestly, I personally don't do anything different. I rode Supercross today at Fox Raceway. I'll be at our test track tomorrow. Last year I rode K2, which is the most hard packed test track you can ride. You know, Wednesday before Daytona. I feel like there's a lot of focus sometimes around trying to get like a hybrid outdoor setup. And I mean, I've only raced Daytona last year, so I'm just recent with it, but it seems like nowadays it's very Supercrossy. Like it's not so much just like outdoors. Like if I watch old videos when RC and you know, Stu and all those guys were racing it, like I understand why you have to have somewhat of a hybrid setup. But for me, like honestly, last year I went stiffer there.
Wow.
When I got there, just clickers. I don't change my bike at all. I haven't yet. You know, we haven't done a hybrid track or anything like that, but some people do, and it works for some. So, but that's what we do. And then, yeah, with Nick, I mean, the list is endless. What Nick helps me with. I mean, you know, we obviously really focus on my riding. Like that's the main thing. Like, in the past, I think I focused maybe a little bit too much on training off the bike, and riding comes first, and then he does everything for me. He writes my gym programs. He goes in the gym with me. We cycle, you know, everything, but just a lot of technique and just, you know, deciding what I need to do to be better. And then also just stuff as a person. Like he's a super big mentor for me. I mean, he's like, I look up to him as a father, as a husband, as a person, as a businessman, just everything. Like he's kind of my go-to guy. So yeah, I give him credit for, you know, a lot of what's going on right now.
Yeah, he's rad, dude. He's so knowledgeable and just, like I said, smart between the bike, training, like everything you just mentioned. I mean, families, you know, he's had obviously a wife and kids for years. So it's a great person to have in your corner, man. Couple more things I want to touch on with you. There's a ton of hype. I'm not gonna mention any names, but there are other riders that come into these series with so much hype and this guy's expected to win. And you came into your pro career with not a ton of hype, obviously. Do you think it's beneficial? Obviously, you've only lived your life, but do you think like the way you came into the series is more beneficial to you? Not just, you know, obviously, you're expected to win and all the whatever comes with the hype.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, my situation, like I'm I guess like I wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah.
You know, I was definitely, I don't even know if I'd say I was a late bloomer, but I guess, you know, growing up, like Supercross wasn't even a thought. Like it was, we raced and rode as a family for fun and would try and do Loretta's and maybe make it, you know, was a 30th place guy at Loretta's. And it was just, I guess the dream of being a professional Supercross racer wasn't even there. Honestly, when I was younger, like I thought arena cross was like the pinnacle of our sport. Like that's how little I knew, you know, and when I was 16 was when I moved to a training facility and my parents were like, we'll give you 2 years to give it a shot till you're 18. And that's kind of how it worked. But anyway, to answer your question, like, I feel like the reason it has helped me is I feel like I still have a lot of gas left in the tank.
Yep.
I mean, I'm super motivated still. And, you know, I didn't have pressure as a young kid to do anything, to perform at all. Like, you know, I was eating ice cream cones at Loretta's, just stoked to be there to float down the creek. So
that's my way of that's my life.
And
I like that.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's the wrong thing either. Like, obviously you've seen a ton of guys who have had that pressure. Like, call it Adam Cincerello. Like, he grew up with to be the kid no matter what all the time, and look at him. He's had, you know, he's had all the success, and it's turned into success for him. So I'm not saying that, you know, oh, if you have that as a kid, like, it burns you out. Like, you know, I train with him every day, and he's 25, 26 years old and still motivated as ever. And, you know, is a outdoor winner and a podium guy. A 250 champion and a 450 factory racer. So like, and there's tons of guys like that. That's most of our field. Like, most of the top guys were a top guy as an amateur. So, you know, I'm grateful for my kind of route that I've taken. And, you know, I think it's taught me a lot about just hard work and just as a person. So yeah,
I dig it. I like it.
With it.
All right. Last question for me. Another thing I sort of touched on Saturday night post race, and we can go even back into nicknames with this. I met your fiance for the first time, Mad Dog, Maddie. And, I asked you Saturday night, you know, like, what's it mean having her in your corner? And of course your mom too, you know, your mom's always there. Having people that have your back, support you, that love you, that you can rely on, lean on. I like hearing like that side of it, what it means to you to have those people in your corner, and, you know, just talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's awesome. Obviously, like, they're the people. Like, my mom's been, you know, she's gone to pretty much every race with me since I started racing professionally. My dad works construction, and he's a construction superintendent, so he's not able to go to much of the races, but he's supported me to the highest level too. But I mean, you know, Saturday night, there's a lot of people who are in your corner. Like, on a night like last Saturday night, I'm saying, you know, there's a lot of people that really, really like you, and it's, you know, everything's great, but the people who really love you, like I said, I think I mentioned Saturday night, and back in June, when I was laid up in bed and had a full knee reconstruction, and I had to pee in a Ziploc bag because I couldn't get out of bed, and Maddie was holding a Ziploc bag for me. That's the type of stuff that, you know what I mean? Like, that's what people don't see. And the people that are there at the lowest of lows, and those are the people that kind of, you know, you got to really keep close in your corner, especially when it's at the highs. So like, it's really, you know, it's good. I love having her, and she's super supportive. She, you know, I think my racing is fairly stressful for her, but she's pretty good at,
I can imagine,
at shadowing it and not really showing it to me. You know, even in Atlanta last year, you know, Maddie and my mom were both there. Like, that was pretty traumatic for them to go through that. And they stayed strong and didn't, you know, make a big deal out of it to make it even worse for me. So
yeah, good point.
Yeah, and that's another that goes back to Nick. Like, he is so calm and he's so calming, and when things go south, he doesn't like, oh, the wheels are falling off. He's like, yeah, it's all good. Let's go get it figured out. You know, if we have a crash or something, and I'm like freaking out, I'm like,
right,
man, this might be hurt, whatever. And he's like, all right, well, we'll go get scans, and like, just like, it's not a big deal, basically. And like, that's super helpful.
I like it,
especially as a racer, where, you know, you live through this stuff, and you gotta find that balance.
Absolutely, yeah, great answer. I actually thought of one more question. So Maddie, she's a musician, right? Singer-songwriter. Yep. Any thoughts to, like, if she goes on tour or any plans like that? Like, that'd be tough, man. I mean, she's able to come to a lot of your stuff. Be tough for you to go on the road with her.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, she's got multiple different things that she does for work and for a career. Like, with that and different, you know, marketing stuff and whatnot. And that's one thing that I'm that I'm stoked about with her, is that she doesn't live through my racing. You know, like, if I told her tomorrow, hey, I'm done racing, like, she'd be like, okay, cool. Like, what are you going to do? Like, whatever. Where she's got her thing going on, and it is tough. Like, you know, she has to go to Nashville on weeks and she misses races or she has to fly, red eye because she really likes being at the races, but I can't be at her stuff during the summer or during the time. Like, it's just not possible. I have to be in California. I have to be at the races. And that's like kind of the tough part of both of us doing something that's, extravagant, I guess, or not just your normal deal. But
sure.
I'm proud of that. Like, I think that's cool. And I have a lot of respect for her for what she does and that she wants to be great at something as well.
Yeah. Fantastic, man. That's a great answer too. Yeah.
Do
One
you-
more,
do
Scott.
you-
One
yeah,
more.
I-
We'll let you go.
Well, I got this one's not. This one's kind of just a fun question. Do you have any? Does any of her songs that you just like straight up jam out to, like in the van, like on the way to a track or something?
There's actually a couple songs that most of their stuff is unreleased. It hasn't been. They're waiting to go to radio, and
Oh, gotcha.
there's a huge process of it, and COVID has really set them back. Like they were. I always like to say that they were like at the where you're about to have a 2-year contract with your first pro team, and then like they're on hold with that because they have a double record deal and so on and so forth, but they can't release music yet because their industry is like really struggling with COVID. So
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer the question, yeah, there's a couple that I'm super I think they're sweet, and like they're like, I tell her, I'm like, I could see it on the radio, it's like it's just a sick country song, and I listened to all sorts of music. It was funny when we first started dating. She was like, because I listened to R&B and rap and just kind of like the, and then, but I do like country too. And I grew up listening to only country. That's all my mom listened to and my parents. So
GAC.
Like, any country song from like, I don't know, 03 to like, till current, like that's big, that's number one, I probably know it and I could sing the whole thing. So she was just like, this blows me away that all this country music. So yeah.
I think, I'm not a country guy, but I like singer
Yeah,
songwriter.
You
I like
don't strike me as a country guy.
What's that?
I said you don't strike me as a country guy.
I'm not. I'm pretty narrow-minded.
More metal, maybe.
Yeah, I'm hard rock metal, but I like
Hard rock.
I've heard some of her, her singing just here and there when stuff's posted. Like, she's got a beautiful voice. So
Yeah.
like singer songwriter stuff, I like, and so I'm really interested to hear what she puts out once it comes out, because I'll definitely check it out. And
Totally.
yeah. So, but generally, I'm not a country guy, but that doesn't mean I won't like her stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
Yeah, the new stuff's a little hard to get into. I'm more of like a
Old school country. Is
I'm more
I
of
can tolerate that.
like 80s, and then like your George Straits
Yeah,
and
Johnny
your
Cash.
well, that's not
Oh,
really,
yeah.
Johnny Cash isn't
George
really.
George Strait's the king.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, that one blows me away. Okay, I don't get George Strait at all. I just don't get it because, okay, I've seen lots of concert footage of him, and he doesn't move. And, like, if I'm going to spend a bunch of money to go to a concert, dude, I need freaking explosions, and
You're trying to be in a mosh pit. You're trying to leave
Yes.
with a couple black eyes.
Not anymore. I don't need black eyes anymore. But
Not everything's a Tool concert.
Yeah, I went and saw Tool a
Dark
couple
Yeah.
of weeks ago, and that was like world changing. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, but I can't wait to see what she puts out. I'll be excited to check it out. And Cameron, I appreciate you giving us some time tonight. Look forward to seeing you what you got at Daytona. We won't be there, unfortunately, but we'll be watching on TV, man, and we're pulling for you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Cameron, thank you for. I know it was late notice today, and I appreciate you coming
all
on.
good.
All right, man.
Yep. Good talking. Thanks.
You too. Take care. Bye. All right. We thank Cameron McAdoo for coming on. We need to take a commercial break and get right into Broc Tickle.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Let me do an intro, and we'll get after it.
Sounds good.
All right. We're back. Our next guest is brought to you by Racetech, which is one of the world's largest aftermarket suspension modification companies. All Racetech products include award-winning gold valves, and settings are 100% guaranteed and made in the USA. Visit racetech.com for more info and use promo code MOTOXPOD to save. Tonight, Racetech brings us from Kawasaki, Factory Kawasaki, Broc Tickle. What's up, dude?
Not much. Pretty much finished up for the day now. So normally around this time, I'm pretty much finished up. So
Okay.
yeah, just wrapping things up over here for the day, and yeah, on the show with you guys. So perfect timing.
Yeah, it worked out good, man. I'm glad I ran into you Saturday night because it's been a while since I've been able to get a hold of you. You just talked about your day wrapping up. Like, what is a day testing? Like, is there, okay, Mondays are testing suspension, Tuesdays are testing engines. You know, how does that work day to day? And that's probably way inaccurate, but give us how that works week to week.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously right now we're in season. Things are going smooth for Jason, and ultimately the goal is to make things, develop the bike better if we can. And obviously we've still been trying to get better, because as soon as you stop trying to get better, somebody else gets better. So for us as a group, we've been doing the majority of the stuff's been suspension. But we did a lot of development, obviously, in the off season, and we started in August and did a lot in August and September. So we did a lot of groundwork then on the whole bike, suspension, motor, chassis, all the above around that time. So right now we're just fine tuning, and even obviously with this bike being the same for next year, we've even did a little bit of testing on some stuff for maybe not even this year, maybe just to get some information for next off season for the guys on the team. So that's kind of what it looks like. I tested yesterday. So yeah, my weeks are normally 1 or 2 days a week of testing. I have Jason Anderson, who I help in the gym and coach and train with. And then I also have Jet Reynolds, which obviously he's injured right now. Hoping for a speedy recovery for him to get back out there for outdoors and I guess get him back up on his feet again. And it's been cool. I'm enjoying it, and I'm grateful for obviously the position I'm in. I'm involved with the same people if I'm racing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a transition for myself to be on the other side of the fence, because it's not for me ultimately.
Yeah.
But it is obviously it's all the stuff I enjoy doing. I get to ride an awesome bike, be around a good group of people, and still have the same, ultimate schedule, to be honest, kind of. So for me, it's been cool.
So obviously you've done testing over the years for yourself, racing and all, but was there anything that really surprised you once you're basically almost a full-time tester just something that surprised you? Anything you weren't expecting?
No, to be honest, even when I was suspended, I worked with Mark Johnson quite a bit, and he works through AEO and REP suspension out here. So I'm sure you know who that is, but him and I did so much together when I was suspended. Learned a lot then, and obviously years prior to that, being at RCH, obviously Ivan Tedesco was a test rider for them, but we did a lot of one-on-one stuff there. And then obviously coming from Pro Circuit prior to that, I did a lot with Bones, to be honest. I think I was pretty much the only guy in 2011, 2012 that was consistently doing stuff with Bones. So throughout the years, I've developed a feel, and I am good at testing and giving feedback. So that is a strength I've created over the years. And I'm pumped to have that strength, because it is fun to be part of improving the bike, not only obviously for myself, but now at this point for the guys racing it.
Yeah, that's cool that, because a lot of guys wonder, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do when I retire? Or if they even think about it at all. And yeah, you set yourself up perfect to still be part of the industry and keep doing, like you said, something you love.
Yeah, and that's something I'll bring up too, because I'd probably get asked, and but I'm not going to announce retirement. I'm not in the position. I don't want to put that on my plate, because I'm not completely done with it. If the opportunity arises to where it makes sense, and I can maybe race a couple races here and there, or who knows? I mean, who knows what can happen? But yeah, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm not retired. I know that question has gotten thrown around. And also, am I racing for AC? And all that. I haven't been asked to race for AC. I'm in a position where I am a test rider. I'm helping Jason on and off the bike. And I have Jet Reynolds, who also is a Kawasaki guy. So I think as of right now, my plate is too full for them to even ask me to go racing. And to be honest, to the public knowledge, I'm not race ready or Broc Tickle race ready like I would like to be. So it's not just, oh yeah, he's been testing this whole time and he's ready to race. I mean, to me, there's a different mentality. Mentality-wise, there's a big difference there. You know, I could go and race and probably be just fine. But I know what it takes to be. I guess I have standards and I have goals for myself if that was the case, and I don't want to fall short of those. So for me, it would be obviously the prep would need to be done, and vice versa.
All right, great answer. Great.
So, you mentioned that you were really good at testing. I just kind of wanted to know, like, what are some of the things when you're testing that you look for, the things that you kind of notice, and then, like, how do you translate that to the mechanics to where they can actually turn that into actual changes on the bike?
Well, that's what makes it, honestly, that's why I'm saying I feel like I am. Oh, I do know I'm good at it. I need to give myself more credit. Sometimes I'm maybe too humble about it, I think, for myself. But most of my feedback is exactly what they see on their side. So when it comes down to it, like if it's suspension, for instance, and it feels harsh here or whatever, we have data, I have a feel of the bike and what it's doing and reacting, and we work together. I give them my input. I have some testing templates I created for myself to kind of brainstorm on, and then I send those to them after days of testing, or if I feel like it's needed. If I didn't feel like I got the message across the right way, I'll think about it and try to present it a different way for them. That way they have it from my words and not just their words. So yeah, it's been cool. Like I said, it's something I enjoy doing, and I thrive to have a bike I feel comfortable on.
Yeah.
To perform. So for me, that becomes, if I was racing, that is something I rely on maybe a little too much, to be honest. I would say if I was racing, but it's something that I have, and it is what it is. If I'm comfortable, I'll hang it out and I'll put myself out there and take risks. But if I feel a little uncomfortable, I'm going to do everything I can to, avoid, I guess, trouble.
Yeah, well, I think that's not super uncommon. I think we're seeing that with some one top guy in particular on another team that's not comfortable. So, yeah, I wanted to ask you a couple, like, I often wonder when there's a test rider, whether it be Trey Kennard or Honda or whatever, yourself, like, you don't necessarily ride the same style as Jason or Adam, and maybe don't want the exact type of thing. So how do you work that into translating to what Jason needs versus what Adam needs, et cetera?
I mean, it's been these guys have done a good job. Like I'll give them a lot of credit, and I'll take a little credit myself is that we work together.
Yeah.
In a good manner. Both guys were ultimately on the same setup we developed in the off season.
Okay.
Both guys were pretty comfortable, and they both fine-tuned it for themselves, which is perfectly fine. And that's the way I think that's the easiest way to get it done. You get the bike within ballpark, and then if this guy wants to feel this, or this guy wants to feel that, or this guy needs more hold up because he has more leverage, or what, there's so many variables there, but it's about focusing, I think, on truly what is the goal in each guy and why we are going to tweak it, like if there isn't really a reason to tweak it, sometimes it's good just to ride it and get used to what it feels like first, and give yourself the opportunity to get some confidence and get a feel for what the actual bike was. And I would say that's something that Jason did right from the get-go. Is he rode at motocross for a week or so. Maybe not the most comfortable he felt, on the motocross track. But at that time, we didn't do much motocross development. And obviously, it was a completely different bike, and he's been on, a different bike for a long time. So,
yeah.
He did a very good job with getting on the bike when he got on Supercross and not messing with it at first, And he got used to the characteristics of the chassis and just the engine, all the above, and then maximized ultimately what he had there. And then that's whenever we as a group or him requested to change this or that to make him a little bit more comfortable.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've said before that Jason, if there's any guy that is a plug and play guy that can just plug into any kind of bike, it'd probably be him.
Well, that's what's funny. He's more meticulous than what anybody thinks he is.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's what's tough with this sport is, I think he obviously the persona that he gets put off is that he maybe is way more laid back and which he is as a person, But when it comes down to doing his job and, giving him the best opportunity, he doesn't take any shortcuts. I'll tell you guys that. And
Yeah.
there's proof of it with the way the season's gone so far. And I'm glad to be part of it, but a lot of that was him and his attention to detail, to his riding, to his training, to, a change to all of it. And that's why he's in the position he's in. And I have more respect for him now than, obviously we were friends before, but obviously working together at this level it puts it in a different perspective. So it's really cool to be part of. We're having fun as a group, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. The team's enjoying it. So I think for us, we just do the best we can each and every week to be better. And I guess to be okay with even being, stagnant, because right now, obviously things are going smooth and we can be better, but yeah, we're trucking along and like I said, enjoying it.
Yeah, the comments you made about Jason earlier, I think he's a guy that gets judged by a book judged by its cover a little bit because of what he kind of puts out there, mainly because he doesn't want to deal with media or, he doesn't really want his real self out there, it seems like. But I had a chance to visit with him maybe 2 Halloweens ago. He came out here to Texas to Richard Cutback's place at South Central, which I think you were supposed to do an event or 2 out there. But
Yep.
I sat down and visited with him just off the record, kind of talking, just as buddies hanging out, and like there's no doubt what people think of him as a mass, I think, is not accurate. He is very dedicated and he wants to win, and he wants to enjoy his life and not have all the have to do interviews every day and all the structure necessarily, the not fun shit. He wants to go out and ride his dirt bike and be the best he can be, but he's way more serious than I expected, and it was really impressive. And I think we're seeing that in his performance this year.
Like I said, time after time this season without the preparation, and it doesn't, how nothing lies. If things weren't working out smoothly and he didn't put in the effort, or we as a group didn't put in the effort, or because everybody, obviously ultimately he's the one racing the bike, but all of us have put a conscious effort forward for him, but he at the end of the day is still the guy showing up racing behind the gate. And I've been there, and I think that's what's cool about the situation. I understand what it feels like to be in that situation, and I can put myself in his shoes, and he's there, and he wants to win. He does. And he shows it. Obviously he showed it every weekend this year, I would say, and it's honestly a breath of fresh air for me to be part of it. Obviously I'm making a transition, like I said, to being on the other side of the fence. So for me, it's something I'm learning each and every weekend to be better at. And yeah, it's been, like I said, it's been awesome to be part of it.
Yeah, very cool.
Okay, so this one kind of came from one of our listeners. So you mentioned that your plate's pretty full and you're kind of just focusing on what's in front of you right now. But with the announcement today of the new World SX Championship that they're going to be doing, would that be something like a guy like you would kind of be interested in? Is that have you heard about that? Do kind of talk about what you think of that new series?
To be honest, I haven't even looked at the press release or
Right.
even understood what it is, to be honest. But I'm content with where I'm at right now. I'm growing and I'm enjoying it. And like I said, I'm not saying I won't ever race again or I'm retiring. I'm not saying any of that, but the cards have to fall into place. I'm not just going to go race that series for nothing or jump ship on what I have going on right now. That's so good. And, everybody that's involved in my circle at this point is like, it's exactly, this is a good place to be. I'm not unhappy with what I'm doing. So like I said, it would have to really make sense for me to even consider it. If that came to the table, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
You're being smart. Yeah. You're being smart about what, your options are. And I think you're in a really good place. So I totally understand where you come from. Before we let you go, I want to kind of look back on your career. I mean, in my opinion, I would assume your highlight was your championship, and we know what the low light probably is. We don't want to talk about that. But what are a couple incidences other than the championship that stand out, and do you feel like looking back on your career that, hey, this was a successful career? Because I don't think you can argue that it was,
No, it was awesome. I mean, thus far it's been, there was a lot of struggles involved. There was a lot of, signing deals at the last minute. There was a lot of, all this stuff that comes along with our sport was all there, and I think it's hard unless you're involved with it, I guess behind the scenes, it's really hard to see all of it.
Yeah.
I guess from the outside, especially from a fan point, like it is not, it's not just us collecting money racing dirt bikes. And I know it seems that way for the fans, and I don't want to disregard what they think or what they feel, but it's way bigger than that. And it's a big sacrifice to your life to do it right, and it's something I don't regret any of it by any means, but it's not easy. And when you're in it, and it's a fight. It's a constant mental, physical fight, especially year after year. Whenever you're signing deals, like I said, like those deals that you sign in December when you got to race in January are pretty stressful. Like if I'm going to shoot it straight,
your buddy
not knowing
Chiz,
whether you have a job. Yes,
your buddy Chiz has done that a few years in a row now.
He can pull it off, no problem somehow. For me, it stresses me out.
Yeah,
to be honest, because I've always been on a team, which that's just kind of how it's been. I had a couple opportunities to maybe go on my own. And obviously him and I at one point were working some stuff out to maybe do something together on different bikes and same transportation, similar sponsors, like trying to do all that. And there's a lot to it when it comes down to doing it like that. I mean, there's a lot to it, obviously, for the factory teams as well, but obviously doing it on your own, it's really obviously to do it right. And obviously me being part of a team pretty much basically since I turned pro, to do it right once you've been around right on your own, it doesn't happen. Like, I'll be honest, there are going to be corners cut, and if I was going to go out on my own, I wasn't going to cut it. I wasn't going to cut on the safety part. I wasn't going to cut on, the training part or the diet part or, all this stuff, because I know how much that matters in the grand scheme of things. Yes, I could sit here and tell you, yes, let's go race privateers next year, and I could go get a bike and get some stuff done and cut a lot of corners. And yeah, I'm in every main event, but that isn't what I want to do. If I'm going to be honest with the public, like I want to, I expect more out of myself, and I think that's a good way to feel about it. And I'm okay with feeling like that about it,
Yeah. I like it.
And I still love the sport, but I'm not going to go, I'm not going to spend all this effort and time and doing it when I know I'm already halfway behind the ball.
Right.
When I know if I have the things in front of me and if I had everything in front of me with the right preparation, that the outcome is going to be a lot different.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. You mentioned, the fans, the general fan thinks it's just collecting checks, millions of dollars, and living the life, because all they really see is Saturday night. And that's the easy night for you guys for the most part. They don't see the bicycle rides, the grinding, being away from your family, maybe missing, people that have kids, missing things because of the grind, the injuries, the dieting. Like, I don't want to not be able to eat ice cream and drink Cokes. And everything you guys do is suffering almost for an end goal one night a week, hopefully, a few weeks a year. And it's even this. So this is something I've talked about a few times. Like, we don't necessarily, as fans, always think of these elite athletes as humans. Like, okay, what's going on with Ken Roxon? Well, we don't know. I mean, who knows? He could have family things going on. He could, I know me, when I go to work, if I fought with my wife or my girlfriend the night before, I'm in a shit mood. I don't want to go to work. I don't care about the work because I'm wrapped around that. Or if my kid's sick.
You're a drama queen.
Yeah, I'm a drama queen, right. But you guys have to go still perform at an elite level and somehow put all that out of your mind so you don't go out and kill yourself because you're not focused 100% on this sport. And it's not really fair that we don't give you that break sometimes.
Well, and I mean, I'll put into that because, like, I feel like maybe this is the time to do it because I'm not obviously lining up, but like that part, I agree with you. Like, I don't think people truly like understand that part of it. It should be that easy. If he's having problems with the bike, he's factory or whatever. He's on a factory team. He's got this. He's got that. What's so hard about that?
Right.
It's way bigger than that. And a 2%, something 2% that's affecting you on race day can affect you from being, a podium guy to an 8th place guy easily. And that's just how it is right now. The class is very, very stacked, and obviously we've lost a couple guys now.
Yep.
But it's still, it doesn't matter I don't care if you're even the guys in the heat races who finish, at the tail end of the pack, like those guys are good riders still.
Of course, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just everything's elevated so highly now that a 1%, 2% like default or a problem becomes a lot bigger when it comes down to actually racing,
That's a good point.
It's just, for me, like, when you see guys struggle, like I struggle to understand, the forms, and that's why I don't even go on them anymore, or I haven't for years, just because it's so, people take one thing and turn it into, something else, and who knows what it is, like you said, but it all plays a part in, and it's not like he's not trying, or, whoever it may be.
Yeah.
It's not like the person is not trying to perform. That is never the case. Or, they'll say he's a quitter, or, whatever it may be, or a prima donna, whatever it may be. But in my opinion, because I've lived in that place, not necessarily that, but it doesn't matter what it is. It could be you just having a bad week at the track.
Yeah, sure.
And it affects you negatively on the weekend, and then before you know it, it snowballs, and then you have a crash, and then now you're questioning the bike, and then it's endless.
Yes, of course.
So
yeah.
So it's very from my side, from doing it and then being where I am now, everything matters. And when it comes down to racing, especially at the highest level, like I said, the percent of 1 or 2% off can make a huge impact on how the actual result actually ends up being.
Absolutely. We got one more for you.
Yeah, we got one more from one of our listeners. They wanted to know, throughout your career, who was your favorite person to race?
Oof. I mean, to be honest, I've raced obviously a big group of guys throughout my career. My funnest years, so I'll relate just on my funnest years of racing.
Okay.
And I don't really have anybody that I really enjoyed battling the most, because if I'm going to shoot it straight on that question, I would say anybody that I passed easily and left them.
Perfect.
So, but I mean, you asked me the question, what year do you think, or other than your championship year, maybe what was your best year? And I will say 2015. And the only reason why I say that, I guess 2015 leading into 2016, is because I broke my back in 14.
Yep.
I didn't really know if I really was going to race again. And I made the decision once I got my hardware out of my back that I was going racing. And I showed up and had I thought it was a very good year for the situation to, finish 8th in Supercross and 7th in motocross in the championship after not knowing if I was going to race again. And that kind of set the tone for 16, where I did end up getting injured in Supercross, but did have 2 podiums in outdoors. And then in 17, getting a podium in Supercross. So like, yeah, just looking at all the, it's just, I honestly look at my career as like a stepping stone. Every year was kind of a stepping stone, even though there were setbacks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool way to look at it. And like I said, time has flown by too, to be honest with you guys. Like
I bet.
It's really like when I think about 2015, I don't think about it, being 7 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Right, me either.
I know.
I'm getting old, Brock. I'm getting old, man. And time goes faster and faster every year.
Yes.
Scary.
So, but I'm just, like I said, I'm pumped with where I'm at. I'm grateful for where I'm at, and I'll be at every race this year. So I'm on the same schedule as being a racer, and I'm around a solid group of people and get to work with, athletes that want to do good, and I'm stoked to be part of it.
Yeah, good for you, man. It's really good seeing you out there. We don't get to go to too many of them, but I was really glad that I ran into you this weekend and was able to reconnect and get you on.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys having me on too.
Anytime, man. Brock, you have a good night, and good luck with the rest of the season, man. I think Jason, for me, Jason's the favorite. I know a lot of guys are leaning towards Eli, but I feel like it's pretty obvious without a couple little things have gone differently. Jason should have the points lead, and he's been amazing. So I am pulling for that guy this season.
Well, and I'll say this, even though I'm on his side, it's really cool to see 2 guys make changes in their career.
100%.
And then to see racing like we did this past weekend, that was awesome to watch, and awesome, obviously, for myself to be involved with one of the guys that's doing it. So that part of it's cool to see, no matter how you look at it.
Absolutely.
So,
well, man, once again, thanks for coming on tonight. We appreciate you, and we'll do this again towards it, maybe outdoors.
Yes, sounds good.
All right, Brock. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
All right, thanks to Broc Tickle. Thanks to all our sponsors. Thanks to who they brought, Race Tech and X Brand Goggles, bringing you Broc Tickle. And I forgot to mention Works Connection, helping bring in Cameron McAdoo. That was a good interview. I did hit mute. I meant to hit mute on my mic, and I hit mute on his
is that
mic.
what happened?
Yeah, that's what happened. So I think the audio's still there on the other track, so I can fix that.
Crossed.
Dude, it's always something. There's not going to be a single thing I ever do with this podcast where there's at least not one mistake.
It's like there's nothing ever perfect.
I screw something up every time. So yeah, hey, at least if you're gonna be good at something, whatever that. I screwed that up.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do something, be the best at. Fuck, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, what are you talking about,
dude?
man?
I don't know, man. I am freaking exhausted. I don't feel good. My nose is congested. I want to blow a big snot loogie out right here on the table.
Dude, you got a cup right there.
Yeah, I'm always blowing my nose. I'm like a little kid, man. My nose just, when it's chilly outside, my nose just runs like a little kid.
That's the one thing that I'm dreaded the most about having kids is the boogers.
Oh, yeah?
There's nothing worse than like a 5-year-old coming up with just snot.
Yeah.
It is all, it's like basic. Oh, God.
Yeah.
And they don't know it's there, and it's just boogers.
Care.
Yeah, boogers just coming out. They got them in their hair.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick, before we wrap this thing up, I mentioned fly racing. Doc Smith, TJ's our producer or whatever he is now, co-host, TJ's son,
and sometimes
is in fly
TJ.
racing this year, and he got his points at Arlington, so he's going to go race, try to qualify for Daytona.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that's the first one he can do now is freaking Daytona.
But he signed up last year for his number, and they told him his number was good for 2 years.
641 or
what is it?
641.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. He got his pro license or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, that number we already gave it to somebody."
So what numbers?
So
are
all
gonna
his 464, but all his jerseys are already made. They're all done, and he's heading to Daytona. So I called Max over at Fly. Or actually, I called JT first. He's on the road, so they called Max. So I called Max and told him the situation, and they overnighted, got him. Like he was going to get the jerseys, get him home, and have his graphics people send him the graphics, and they have a heat press. Sorry, guys. And TJ was going to put the numbers on.
Yeah.
So I explained all this to Max, and Max is like, "What's his number? What's it? Give me the last name." And they're doing it for him.
Yeah.
And overnighting the jerseys to him. Fly Racing rules. I love those guys. So shout out to JT and Max for hooking up TJ and Doc.
See,
and
I would have
always
just
taking
taken
care of us.
I'd have just taken a roll of white duct tape and just added a little 4 to the 1.
We may have the numbers wrong, but I know it's 464 now. But either way,
Oh, I guess no.
like,
that
I would
would've-
have just like my thought was print the exact same graphics package, last name, whatever.
Yeah.
Again, the same shape, and just fix the number, and then put it over top the other one. But that
Yeah.
might look like shit. I don't know. Regardless, Fly took care of it because Fly rules.
TJ wants you to call him.
Okay, I'll try to do that when the show's over. TJ, he's probably wondering
Like-
about the jersey. If you're going to ask me anything
Are
about
you
the
wanting
situation
to,
on the
TJ? Are you
jerseys-
wanting us to call you like onto the show?
Oh, is that what he means?
Yeah. Hold on. Let's wait for him to respond.
Okay, but I mean, yeah, he's not a scheduled guest. I'm going to mute my mic and blow snot out of my nose. You talk for a second.
Alrighty. Yeah. Jake's girl says you on the snot rockets. The only thing she can't deal with is snot.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to deal with it either, but I don't have much choice right now.
Texas Live was a good call for after party. I was there for a second. Texas.
Oh yeah. you
Everybody
went
went to the. There's like this huge place, and everybody was in like this one corner.
to that. Oh yeah.
I guess that was all the action was.
Dude, I'd
TJ
drive
said
home.
yes. So
I don't want to call him.
well,
The hell, all right. Hang tight, guys, for a special
exclusive
surprise,
sneak peek.
special surprise
preview.
guest. If he talks about Doc, we're hanging up.
Well, yeah,
Just kidding.
I have a
Joking.
feeling that's what it's going to be about.
All right, I'm just teasing. Let's get him on the phone. I have a lot of editing to cut all these rings out.
Yeah.
Hello.
Moto X Pod Show. Who's this?
This is the one and the only. What are you talking about?
No.
The one and the only what?
Get to your point.
Yeah, caller. First time, long time. What do you have to say?
First time logged a pro. Like you pointed out about Max stepping up. My kid, yes, he got his pro license and he's a pro, but he's like nobody to fly. He's only been with him for a short time, and them stepping up. I'm telling you, like that was just amazing. And I don't know these guys. They don't know us.
They know
and
me.
them going, well, they know you. And
You
that
owe
was,
me.
And that, I owe you big time. Like, I mean, I'll get Scotty to give you a reach around, whatever it takes.
You ain't getting me to do nothing.
Yeah, you can make my first truck payment.
No, that's some expensive jerseys. Jesus. But no, honestly, no, that was really awesome.
Yeah.
And especially after the AMF, like, continuously just screws my kid over.
Yeah, your phone's breaking up real bad. What are you driving?
Yeah, I'm driving home.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. When do you get back tonight?
Get back tonight, get everything together tomorrow, leave out Thursday for Daytona.
All right. Well, hopefully those jerseys will make it in tomorrow like they're supposed to. So.
All right, man. I just wanted to be on the air and make sure everybody knows just how great of a company Fly Racing is. So.
I don't
Good-
mean to blow fly.
Good people.
but-
That's Kiefer, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, TJ, be safe, man.
Later, guys.
Thanks. See ya. So, anyway, yeah. Thanks to Fly Racing. Go ahead.
So for the longest time, I always thought that TJ's like Instagram name, Racing for the Sun. I always thought that was like he like rides for Jesus. But it's really like
Thought it was what?
I thought it was like he rides for Jesus thing, but it's really like he races, like he does that for his son.
No, because it's spelled S-U-N. Isn't it? Oh, it is S-O-N. isn't it?
S-O-N, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah. I actually thought it was
Either way, it'd still be.
Christian
I was
thing
thinking
there.
of like
Yeah.
Father, the Son,
right.
not
right.
the actual like shiny sun.
Okay, before we wrap this thing up, there was something you wanted to touch on. I forget what it was.
Oh, yes. Okay. So one of my friends that attended the race as a fan this
Yeah.
weekend was outside the stadium taking a smoke break during one of the mains
Okay.
and ran into a guy. Don't know his name. Don't know who he was affiliated with. All I know is
They
that
made out.
yes, that's where I'm going
All
with
right.
this. Okay.
Keep after all.
So apparently this guy had worked for a company that had sponsored Ken Roczen before.
Okay.
And this, this may not be that much of a secret. Everybody kind of already assumed this. I don't know if this is that much of a hot take, but he did mention that he's had personal conversations with Ken Roczen and that essentially he's just mailing it in for the paycheck.
Well, I think
I mean,
I
obviously
think
that's pretty
he's ready to leave
obvious.
the team, yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
don't-
he's not putting out his best effort. He's not doesn't care how he's just mailing in for the paycheck, is what I was told.
I don't know if it's quite that simple. I think there's some things going on. I've heard some stories. There's some stuff going on.
Basically, he
but
doesn't
he's not-
care
I don't believe for a second he's happy.
One
at
foot out
Honda.
the door.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of
his
thing.
comments on Pulp were like they asked him if he'd talked to Lars, and he was like, "Not." Basically, nope. He doesn't deal with any of the people with the team. Really, his people deal with those people. Like that's just a bad sign, in my opinion. I don't.
Yeah, I think he's done.
Yeah, I don't dig that at all. But yeah, it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth actually for him a little bit. Like,
Yeah,
I
like,
really lost some of my fandom for him.
Yeah, I don't like the mailing it in mentality.
No.
Like if
No,
I'm
we
getting
don't know
paid
the
to
whole
do
story.
something,
We don't know,
we
like,
don't. I mean, but
Chase is doing
you've
fine
heard
on the bike.
You've heard that. I heard
Yeah.
that from hearsay. So I mean, it's all from the grapevine, but
Yeah.
most of the time the grapevine ends up being right. So
Well, yeah, they say when there's smoke, there's fire. That
yeah,
kind of thing. So,
exactly.
yeah.
So, but yeah, that was what I was told.
Yeah, so not a lot else to talk about. I mean, I know a lot of times we probably could get more detailed into the races, but like I said, I'm not feeling good. I'm tired.
Yeah.
My understanding is Austin's out, broke his collarbone.
Yeah, collarbone's done. He
I
had
knew that.
He had an essay on
Yeah.
one of those posts.
His mom texted me actually before the press conference, and I knew that. But
How's RJ?
RJ told me today that he's good and
'Cause
he's going to race.
He was straight like corpse mode on the bottom
Yeah,
of
I said, "How you
18th.
feeling?" And he's like, "Actually, pretty dang good." So, yeah, he's ready to go. He says he's ready to go.
You were waiting for that. You were getting that jersey from him. He was sitting there getting a massage. So maybe I guess he was loose and relaxed from when he smacked the ground.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, we got a jersey for Kenny Gorline, who did the wrap up with me last week. He had won an RJ Hampshire jersey in Pulp Fantasy, and it in a fire, they lost it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and he reached out to some people that deal with the prizes for fantasy, not Steve, and just didn't get a response. He tried a couple times, and he hit me up. He's like, "Dude, it's probably a long shot. Probably not a lot you can do." And I was like, "Let me just text RJ." And RJ, I told RJ the story. He's like, "Absolutely, man. I'll send you one out." So like 2 weeks ago, Ashley supposedly sent one before. Yeah, I think it was before I went to Minneapolis, like a week before. They haven't got it yet. And I texted him. I said, "Dude, I told him at Minnie, I still haven't got that jersey yet. I'll check when I get home." Text him when I got home. Still don't have it. He's like, "Man, I'll just give you one at Arlington. No big deal." So yeah, he hooked me up with a jersey that's back there. I don't know if it's on camera right now. It's back there on that couch behind you with all the other stuff I have to ship out. But yeah, grab that jersey. So that RJ hooked Kenny up with that to replace the other one, and the other jersey that Ashley sent, maybe it'll show up one of these days. It came mail, so who knows? And if it does, it'll go in the studio or we'll give it away. So thanks to RJ for that. But he says he's good.
Signed and everything.
Dude, you're having a terrible time trying to get that on camera, aren't you?
Well, I had to zoom in on the signature.
I got you.
Is it? I think it's worn.
Probably. I mean, I would assume it was worn. Yeah, I don't know if he wore that Saturday or not, but either way, that's Kenny Gorline.
It's got a tear in it.
Oh yeah. Well, race worn. Probably a race worn jersey. Either way, guys, let's wrap this thing up. You got anything else before we go, Scotty?
Let's look.
Any of the listeners got anything else?
Predictions for Daytona?
Winners or top three or
whatever you want to say.
Whatever I want to say. It's going to be narrow. It's going to.
After, I always thought Daytona was a cool concept because it was like outside, but after seeing what they were able to do in Atlanta and then going back, I'm like, oh, Daytona's going.
It's probably going to be disappointing.
I hope there's not. Let's hope there's not one of those goofy starts where they do like a freaking figure eight,
loop
and
around the
loop
start
around,
again.
and dude, that thing was confusing.
So somebody gets
as hell.
killed. Like, was that Jordan Smith that did that? Somebody, I can't remember who did that.
I think it was Baggett. No, Baggett.
But it was Baggett and somebody else though. And
yeah,
I thought it was
Jordan
Jordan or Baggett or something like that. But anyway, whoever it was.
It's going to be ruddy.
Thinking
There's going to be
so
the face of the jumps are going to be gone. There's going to be a stupid quad thing.
Jet wins 250s.
I don't know. It's
I'm not asking if you know. You asked for my predictions.
Oh, okay,
I'm trying to give them to you.
All right.
Jet wins. Trying to decide who's going to be second.
McAdoo.
You know what? I'm changing my mind. Jeremy Martin wins. No, Jet wins. Jeremy Martin second.
McAdoo third.
McAdoo third. Maybe RJ. RJ third.
How are you going to have McAdoo on the show and then not even put him in your top
Man,
three?
I'm trying to be like my Dylan Ferrandis pick. I'm trying to be edgy and see if I get
Oh,
lucky.
I forgot to ask. I had a moment where I was walking with Brayton back to our vehicles on Saturday night.
You weren't walking with Brayton. You snuck up on him like a creeper and scared him.
Well, calm down. I was walking. He was walking. At some point,
And you startled
those
him.
two things came together. But anyways, I didn't realize that it was him that Ferrandis ran up on the by the mechanics area.
I didn't even see that. So yeah,
Oh, dude, it was
I need to
pretty rough.
rewatch the
So I
race.
think Brayton got like kind of stuck in that rut and like
Oh,
stalled
yeah.
a little bit,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
Ferrandis carried his momentum and just like basically wheelied onto the back of
Didn't know
Brayton.
any of that. I
Yeah,
knew there was some. Yeah, I didn't know any of that. So anyway, okay, then 450s. I'm gonna go edgy again because I think everybody thinks Eli's gonna win. I'm gonna go Cooper Webb, Eli Tomac, Chase Sexton.
Cooper Webb definitely was on the right. I wouldn't say we're
He's not completely
completely there, but I would say he
Better.
was on the right, trending in the right direction.
Yeah, we
That's a
talked.
stock to watch.
We talked to one of those. Like I told you, the audio got lost on that one, and I asked him like Friday. I was like, "Hey man, like, can we have something happen Saturday during practice qualifying that pisses you off?" He's like, well, "What do you mean?" I said, "Because when you get pissed off, you win. Like you get mad, you go back and you tell Carlos, I'm gonna win, and you win." He goes, "You think so?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's what we hear." So
Yeah.
let something piss you off Saturday.
It definitely did show one thing to kind of look at is and the Cooper's always been this way. As soon as when Anderson took out Mookie, and all of a sudden Cooper went from fourth to second, and then he was kind of catching Barsha.
Yeah.
Dude, as soon as he's like Reed used to be. As soon as he knows that there's a chance to win, boom, brand new guy.
Yeah,
like that.
Did you listen to Pulp? Because they kind of talked about that. Paul
I
Perebijnos
did.
and
Yeah, I don't know if I
Castleton.
caught that part, but
He basically is like now that he's got a podium and you know he's like
I mean nobody
he can turn that into I got you now.
Yeah, like and the way his racecraft, like the way
Yeah.
he's able to dissect, like nobody passed anybody in that underneath that over thing
That was
all
sweet.
day.
Yeah.
Nobody made
That
it
was
past
sweet.
it all day, and it's crazy how that one thing it changed their whole rhythm all the way up to that whoop section. But it didn't matter because he took the race line.
Yeah.
So like the way he's able to think about like oh, it doesn't matter if I'm not able to do this section as long as I get in front of him. He's not going to be able to do it either. Like that's the kind of stuff that you just can't teach. That you can't teach that kind of stuff. So that was cool to see. So.
You want to make your predictions before we roll this thing out?
I'm gonna say. Wait, did you decide J Mart first or second?
Second.
I think I'm gonna go J Mart. He finally showed some speed that I think that if he gets out front of a track like Daytona, he's gonna be pretty unstoppable.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go
Great radio,
Tomac.
bro.
I'm gonna go Tomac.
Oh, you're only going winners.
I mean, I guess I could do podium. J Mart, Jet, Whackers, and then Tomac, Sexton, Anderson.
Damn it, I forgot about Jason.
Webb
Just talked
and
about Jason. I forgot
fourth.
about Jason.
Webb and fourth.
I'll go Jason.
Mookie in fifth.
All right. Well, all right. Let me hang on. Webb and Mookie. Well, then I'm going Jason fourth, which man, I hate doing that.
Yeah, that's a tough call.
And man, I don't know.
It's tough.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm trying to think. I don't want to take Mookie because you took Mookie.
Yeah, I feel bad for Mookie. That was he should have.
Ken. I don't believe it, but I'll take it.
That was definitely Mookie's chance to get a win. I feel bad for him.
Chiz wins.
Chiz wins.
Yeah.
Oh, you were asking me earlier what my favorite moments were. Sitting in the. We got to go to the SGB Honda truck. That was cool.
Yeah.
And then also shortly after that, we went over to the Rock River Yamaha tent, and we were sitting there with Chiz in the little. We were just in the little mechanics area.
Right.
And we were sitting there. They were doing something to his bike inside. It was colder than shit, so everybody was inside. And we sat there and talked to Chiz for like 10 minutes, and that was cool.
That was like one question.
Yeah. And I mentioned that it was funny to me because I always thought Chiz as a very quiet person. I mean, obviously he's a soft-spoken person with his voice anyways, but I didn't realize he was that much of a talker.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I thought he was.
I thought we've had him on a bunch of times since you've been here. Because
I think I've only had him on the show once.
No, you only have to ask a couple questions, and he gives real long, detailed answers.
Yeah.
And the reason we went by there, again, you don't have Twitter. People that do have Twitter, during qualifying, when the 450B group went out, we went down to start trying to get interviews into the pits. And Steve blew me out.
I do know why we went over there.
Steve blew me out on Twitter like, oh, Darkside doesn't care about the privateers anymore. He's just going to, when the factory guys are done, he leaves the press box.
Well, he doesn't even stay for the press conference, so.
Well, he's getting interviews too. But, like, so he tweets that, and then Chiz says, yeah, I haven't seen him all day, and basically giving me crap. So I was like, all right, we better go find Chiz.
You got to go get Chiz.
Chiz his feelings were hurt, so we had to go see Chiz. So, yeah. Thanks for Steve blowing me out all the time. All right, let's wrap this thing up, man. As always, I still got all my wrap-up stuff, and I want to go to bed. Cherubies USA, Race Tech, Fly Racing, X-Brand Goggles, Works Connection, Torque One Racing, R Jerky. Guys, go get some freaking R Jerky. eatrjerky.com. Use promo code MotoXPod21 to save. I
eat my meat.
I ate like 2 or 3 packages of that Saturday at the race in the press box in between the pizza and the pasta.
Really? Well, where was I when you had beef jerky?
You were sitting right next to me.
Never even noticed.
Yeah, you were sitting right next to me because I kept waiting for you to ask, and you didn't, and I was really happy because I wanted it all.
I swear to God, I never saw you eat one piece of beef jerky.
I ate a package of the 7 Deuce Deuce brisket, brisket one, and I ate a package of the.
I saw you eat like
black, what said the 7 Deuce Deuce black pepper, and the other one. I think like the other one's black pepper.
Dude,
but anyway, it doesn't matter.
For those of y'all that don't know, this man over here, it eats constantly throughout the day.
Bro.
Dude, like there's not. It goes. He like
grinding. He
was at one point like you went and got like a Cajun sandwich from like one of the little.
I did. Yeah, the first.
Well, you ate when I called you that morning about 8:45. I was getting close to the stadium. You were eating breakfast.
Yep.
So you were eating then.
Yep.
And then you got to the stadium. You had a Cajun sandwich at probably about 11 or so, 11:30, and then about noon, we stopped and you were like, you know what? Fuck it, let's go get food from the fly tent. And then we got food from the fly tent. And
no, that was later.
I guess that was later
because you got 3 because 3:30 was when they brought the pizza was ready. So and I got the pasta.
We brought pasta and chicken parm back from the fly tent.
Yep.
And then you never even ate that, and then went or you hadn't ate it yet, and then you went and had to walk
other end
of the stadium to get the pizza from Sean, and then came back and then ate that, and then
I ate the
snacks, the beef jerky.
I
had
ate some of those cookies and some of the donuts up there that Sean provided.
Then you had to have a giant Coke at some point.
I definitely had. That was my first Coke of the day.
A giant Coke, and then
I ate on the way home at
In-N-Out. I'm sure.
No, because they were closed. It was too late.
Huh.
So I think I hit Whataburger in Terrell.
We had a Jack in the Box. It was.
I wouldn't do that. I was out. But I was probably hungry other times during the day and just didn't have time to go get food because we were watching racing. Back to our sponsors, Berm Lords Graphics and Jersey ID. Guys, if you want graphics for your bikes, if you want your jersey lettered, these guys can do it. Berm Lords Graphics and Jersey ID. They can do anything you want. Shock Socks, Williams Moto Works, Extreme Colors, Blood Lubricants. Promo code MotoX at bloodlubricants.com to save. Get you some oil. They got tons of products. Powerband Racing, True Fusion Sports. Thanks to Cameron McAdoo, Broc Tickle, TJ for jumping on. Scotty, thanks for coming in.
Yep.
That is a wrap. Patreon. Support us if you can. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Play our fantasy Moto X Pod show. Lord of the Berms, I think is what the title is. Go do that. If you're looking for a vehicle, All American Chevrolet of Killeen, Texas. All right, we're out. See ya. Oh, hey, no show next week. Play the outro? Dude, I don't know if I have it loaded. Hang on. I might have put it on one of the buttons. I don't even remember. But no show next week because I have to work next Tuesday night. I'm on call and I've got some. So,
all right.
Which is probably the only show that TJ will be back in town for.
Yeah, he'll be here.
All right, I'm going to hit a button. I don't know if it's the outro or not because I don't have it labeled anymore.